Hi everyone, my name is Onyekachiku Ojima, or you can call me Faith, and I'm part of the core team members of PlotSense. Today I'll be walking you through the visual recommender, which allows you to upload your data and get plot suggestions based on your data. So I'll be talking to you about first the architecture and then how do you use it on your notebook. So based on the architecture we can see here, the first step is your data frame. So this data, your pandas data frame, which can either be from your CSV, or your Excel or your JSON data, then converted to a pandas data frame. So at the initial point of designing the visual recommender, it was just supposed to be the data sets going through the LLM, and then the LLM makes the suggestions, which is then printed to the clients or the users. Then we realized that there was quality issue. That is, different models behaved differently, and some of the results from some models, based on domain knowledge, were not accurate. And we needed something that like to introduce a form of voting system whereby different opinions are put into consideration and then the best result is returned. And this brought about the need for a bagging weighted assembly LLM approach. So what our architecture now does is it takes in the data frame as an input. It is then duplicated into three, because currently we have three models that are being configured to PlotSense. ELA models from Grok, and if you're very conversant with Grok, you can get open source models there. ELA actually an open source model. So these data sets are are made into three, and each one is passed to different models in a parallel approach. So parallel allows you to have your results very quickly. So one model does not have to finish before another model takes it. Three models are working simultaneously. So the three models will give their suggestions. Number of suggestions is based on what you define. So by default, it's 5. That means each model is expected to give 5 suggestions. But I could show you how you can increase or reduce number of suggestions that you want. When each model gives their suggestion, this makes 15, right? Each model also has their weights. So by default, each model's weight is 0.5, but you also have the ability to customize the weight of the model. But if you leave it at the default format, it means that for each suggestion from each model, it becomes 0.5. So each suggestion, if model A gives a suggestion that, okay, use a bar chart to plot column 1 and column 2, that becomes 0.5. So for each suggestion, it becomes 0.5. But then how do we determine which suggestion should be shown? Because based on the calculation, if three models are giving 5 suggestions each and you only want 5, it means we want the best 5. So there's a ranking system. And what this ranking system does is that it calculates the raw weights for each suggestion and divide it by the total weight to get the assembly score. But how do we get the raw weight of each suggestion? We put into consideration the fact that different models can give the same suggestion. So the weight of the model that gave the suggestion and also the number of models that gave that suggestion. So like my previous example, if model A says use a bar chart to plot column 1 and column 2, and model B says use a bar chart to plot column 1 and column 2, it's the same suggestion. So they become merged as one unique pair. But what the difference is that the weight of model A is there, plus the weight of model B, which means that suggestion 1, that first suggestion that you say use a bar chart for column 1 and column 2, has 0.5 plus 0.5. So once we're able to consolidate all suggestions and then add it up to form their raw weight, we then divide it by the total weight. So the result of this division is now arranged in descending order, where the highest is at the top and the lowest is down. And then the top, whatever you want, by default is 5, is then displayed to you. But what happens in the case, because LLMs are very funny. Permit me to use the word funny sometimes. What happens if we don't have enough suggestions to meet up with what you've requested for? So in this case, we look for the best model. But how do you determine the best model? Because we don't want to be subjective. We want to use proper formula. So what we do is that the best model is defined as the model that suggested the highest ranked suggestion. So like that suggestion whereby I say, okay, bar charts should be used for column 1 and column 2. If two models suggested that and that became the highest ranked suggestion after all the computation, we pick one of the models and ask it random, any one of them, and just say, okay, give us more. Because then we trust you because you're able to give a result that other models agree with you on. To give us more suggestions. This gives more suggestions, and then it's then sent to the to the user. So what you get as a user is the plot type, the variable pair. Remember, the variable pair is the combination of the plot suggested and then the set of variables that plot should be used for, and the assembly score. So we try as much as possible to be transparent, so you get to see the reason why that suggestion was given to you. So based on the assembly score and also the models that made that decision is also being displayed to you. Another thing that we've tried to do is to enforce numeric variables being considered before categorical, so that when the bar chart or whatever plot is given, there is no misalignment between which one should be y as or which one should be x as x. So I'm going to move straight now to show you how this works in your notebook. So if you've watched our introductory video where we showed you how to use both the recommender, the explanation, and also the plot generation, you will see that all you have to do is to pip install PlotSense. Then you import PlotSense, and I'm importing from PlotSense. I'm importing the recommender because I only want to show you the recommender. So remember I talked about custom weights. You can. These are the 3 models we are currently using. ELAM. And by default, they're on 0.5. But if I want one model to have an higher say, that is all the suggestions that come from this model to have an higher say, I have I could increase it to a 0.7. So you could choose a number between 0 to 1. The higher the number, the more influence that model has on the final result. Then you get your Grok API key, because we're currently using Grok as our third-party platform. And then you import your data set. So I just have a simple data set of quantity, order, product line, and price each. This is the main part, which is the suggestion. So if I just want to use the default, I don't need this part. If I just do this, it uses default n is equal to 5 and equal weight for all models. But if I want to define my own, and I say, okay, I want n is equal to 4, what this means is that I just want 4 recommendations, and I want you to use my custom weights. I don't want all the models, 3 models, to be taken equally. Use my custom weights, and that's all you have to do to print, and then you get it. So what makes us unique? See, yes, you can upload your data set to ChatGPT and get plot recommendation, but the truth is that it's going to be just one model's opinion, except you want to upload in ChatGPT, then upload in Gemini or change it from GPT 4.0 to GPT 4.0 mini. All those work, we've done it for you. So we've said, instead of just having a one model having the final say, we've designed this system whereby you have 3 models voting to ensure that you have the best, you have the best suggestions. So, and it's very straightforward. It's very simple. You have to do is just call PlotSense recommender and just put in your data frame and get the best suggestions. So yeah, we are very excited about this project. We're excited as to how easy it's going to make the work for data scientists, data analysts. And also, we're looking forward to your feedback. Feel free to contribute. It's open source. We are very excited to get your feedback, get your contribution, get your suggestions. Thank you so much.